Yo, what up, YouTube? Happy Sunday, happy Resurrection Day, and all that good stuff. And it is good. But, as you read by the title, the brakes are installed, well, the brake master cylinder with vacuum brakes. I'll walk through what I've done there, and I will show you how I bleed most of my brakes on my vehicles. We also got the windows fixed on this thing, so we will show you that, and we'll get you a test drive and see how these things work. So, with that being said, let me get this flipped around. All right, we're going to start underneath the hood, guys. So, first of all, we had some issues with this car when I got it. Yeah, he drove it off the trailer, blase, but we had an alternator failure. We had an idle air control valve failure after I got it here, starting fine, and then with me starting it more and more, it failed. So we got a new idle air from AutoZone in there. We got a new alternator, and I believe this is the stock 124 amp. So that'll work. That was better than what was up here, and we checked that by running a voltmeter directly to the battery, and it was like 11 point something running, so I already knew it wasn't charging. Another thing with these turbo Buicks is if it's not charging, and I see now from a good friend of mine down in South Carolina, if your battery light, which is the second light on the left, does not come on, it will not charge. Does not mean the alternator is bad. I took this out, and there is a diode on the back side of the light bulb that goes to the charging lamp. If that bulb is blown, it will not send a sense signal to, I'll get that out your ear. It will not send a sense signal to the alternator, which is this wire. Is your one wire plug here, will not send 12 volts, or maybe a 5 volt red, but I think it's 12 volts. Send it to that plug to tell it to sense. Now, in the instance of this car, there's an electrical issue somewhere in this car, because those lights want to come on when they want to. Now, it could be in the cluster, because as you can see, there's rust in the cluster, so there could be moisture on the contacts or whatever. I didn't go that in depth into it because I wasn't contracted to do that, but I did take that panel out and took the bulb out. The bulb was fine. Your fix for that, if you have an issue, is you can take, and as you can see right here I done, is you can take a hot source, switched hot source from the fuse panel, a switched hot source, and run to that wire, meaning when you cut the switch on, it sends a signal to say, hey, I need to charge to the voltage regulator, which that plug goes to. Quick fix. We'll get that tucked away in some of this loom, but for now that will do, and that will send the volt source, because trying to get to all this wiring in here is a nightmare, and these cars was an electrical nightmare. So that's an easy fix for you guys who are having charging issues. We also got the power window motors in, because the windows would not go down in this T-type. So we got working windows now. So even if he wanted to drive this thing, he couldn't drive it on no hot day. Working windows. Working windows. So we got working windows. We had to put new switches in here. Now, if you buy these from AutoZone for some reason, the driver's side just comes with the switch, not the bezel. The passenger side comes with it all. You can buy these offline with the bezel, So I had to put his old bezel on, so that's why it looks like that. That's what he picked up. But those work now. His door panels, these are the old ones off my vehicle. I gave them to him. That one's still rough. That one's pretty rough. But it's still better than what he had, and I'm going to show you guys. Driver's side is actually not bad. It just needs to be clean. But that panel is actually in pretty good shape. So I gave him those panels. I just had them up in the loft, and I wasn't going to do anything with them. These are his panels. And mine was in far better shape. I ain't going to say far better, but that's the panels he had, and they were tough. So, I mean, green, grime. So, anyway, nothing out of his pocket. I just gave them to him. Try to help him out a little bit. I mean, he'll probably end up getting new ones, but at the moment, it makes it look better. So, and that side, I probably could try to glue it down. Oh, let me kill this compressor. But makes it look a little bit better. And we got the brake master cylinder up there. That's a 7-inch. So it's smaller than the G-body. It's a setup that I found that works. This is my second one doing it. I did the R&D on my car, which is underneath the cover. And it works perfect. We've got it up there. Your factory lines will work. With exception of one adapter. So I have the whole kit mapped out. So, and it's very, very cost effective. We got your vacuum line. And on this turbo Buick, if you're going from a power to Power Master to vacuum, you have to buy a new vacuum block, which has this port on it. It has a side port, especially for the brake booster. I'll show you the stock one here I threw in the car. That's the stock one. You only have your 5 outlets on the passenger side, but you don't have the one that goes here for your brake booster. So we ordered that from Parts Place. We got that in. So that's a billet block, comes with the gasket and bolts. I do recommend reusing your stock bolts. Stock bolts are longer. The other bolts will tend to try to strip out your throttle body. So we got that in. And now all we have left to do is bleed these bad boys. And I want to show you guys how I bleed these brakes. Especially if I don't have my wife here to pump the brakes. And this also allows me to flush your system. If your system is brand new and we know how much brake fluid costs, this method will allow you to reuse your brake fluid. So I can take the same brake fluid, and pour it right back into the master cylinder. Now, the thing with this method is, pulls the air out, pulls the fluid out, flushes the lines, but you have to make sure that you keep your master cylinder full while you're doing this. So as you see, it uses compressed air. It has a air block on top, and we'll watch it work. You just hit this valve here, and you start to see it pull the fluid through. And then while it's doing that, you always want to start from your furthest point. And while it's doing that, it doesn't suck it down super fast, guys. So we're gonna top these back off with some flush fluid. And this will be good for this car too, get any moisture out the system, because I'm gonna throw the fluid that that thing sucks in away. I'm not even going to try to reuse it. So look at the stuff that it's pulling out, guys. Look at that. It's also allowing the air to escape. But look at the nasty stuff that's coming out of there. And you want to keep this higher than what you're pulling out from. I'm going to stop that one right there while we got this video going. Well, you guys saw how I'm pulling that out. It's pulling air out. It's pulling fluid out. It's flushing your system. Now, the way you use this is you crack your bleeder open just enough where fluid can come through. And it has a nipple. I don't know if you guys can see it. That pops onto it. Rubber nipple. You just pop it on and boom. Hook compressor to it and go to work. So, we're going to get these wheels bled out. and then we're gonna go for a test drive and see how they work. The master cylinder was already bench bled, or actually they call it bench bladed, but I did it on the car. It's easier, no reason to put it on a vise or a bench. What I done was I put it up here before the lines was up here. I use a bench bleed kit. You run it back into it with the, keep the lines submerged at all times, and you will naturally see, if you don't even pump the brake, you will naturally see air bubbles coming out, because air has to rise. So with that being said, I let it naturally bleed for probably about 2 hours. But you can also do the pump method the same way. And as you pump, you're blowing air out. It's got to come up through the top of the reservoir here. Make sure you keep it full. Make sure you keep your hoses down in the fluid. Once you've bench bled it, then you put your lines on, which still will have air in them. And then you have to go to each individual wheel and bleed them, which what I'm doing. So I'm on the passenger rear right now. The next one you would do is the driver rear. Then you would go to passenger front. You always want to start from the farthest point and work your way up. That's the correct way to bleed brakes. That way you get the air from the back of the system to the front. And you end up by the wheel right by the master cylinder, which is your front driver. So we're going to get all those bled out, guys. We're going to get this video back up and running. And then we're going to try to take this thing for a test drive and see the little things that we done helped. I may pop in my MAF, or not my MAF. He has a brand new MAF. Mass airflow sensor. My MAP sensor, because I believe he's having some issues with it. When I got it, the vacuum was unplugged. So I'm going to plug mine up just for GP to see what's going on with it. We're going to get this thing down the road and try to get a little test drive. I want to make sure the brakes stop for the customer. We also did put a new belt, and I'm all over the place, guys, but we put a new belt on this thing because when we took the belt off, it was weird. It was tight until we disturbed it. And it just had so much, it wouldn't even go back on. It went back on, but it had so much slack in it, you could just turn to pull it. I don't know what was up with that. It was weird. Anyway, he needed a new belt anyway, so we put a new belt on it. So with that being said, guys, we'll get this video back, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Hopefully we'll be starting this thing up and get ready to take it down the road. Alright, guys, so we got it all wrapped up, and we're going to take it down the road and see how she does. Let's see. So we're going to put it in drive here, and we're going to hit the road. Brakes feel good. He's going to need new calipers and drum rebuild. This car been sitting up, man, and I'm not exaggerating, 20 years of non-driving. Literally, he don't even move around the yard. So I can definitely tell that it needs new calipers, and it needs new drum and brake hardware. You can feel it, but stops pretty good. You can see the back brakes need adjusting. I can tell that also. And let's see, we'll get out here on the road, and runs pretty good. Needs a good tune-up. That ticking noise sounds like something with the speedometer done went out. I'm not sure on that, but get on down the road, turn around. Get into a little bit of boost. Yeah, he definitely needs some new calipers and brake drums. Yeah, he definitely needs that. This car needs a lot, guys. The whole brake system needs to be redone, which at this point, all he's got to do is the brakes, brake drums and rotors. I believe the left side, I feel like it's sticking, but my job is done here on this one. That was to get it switched over to vacuum brakes, and I guess he will address or bring it back to address at the wheels. So it was drained at all the wheels and flushed. Oh man, some terrible stuff come out of there. So I'll let the customer know and see where he wants to go with it from there. And we'll oh yeah, definitely better. You can stop now. But that ends this video, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. And that concludes this trip for this vehicle. Catch you guys later.